That's right. These two bikes right here, they're cruisers and two old dudes on them. But if you think cruisers are slow, you're sadly mistaken. They can keep up with any sport bike in the day. The type of bike that I prefer is a cruiser. I even like those old school Hondas because that's kind of what I grew up on. Main reason I prefer cruisers and stuff like that is the seating is a lot more comfortable. They got longer handlebars too. The sport bikes got those little teeny tiny short handlebars. Sure, you can set up whenever you come to a light and whatever and stretch your back out, whatever. I've heard dudes say sport bikes are for young people and cruisers are for old dudes. I was like, well, when I was growing up and I was a little youngster, I guess I did ride the cruisers when I was a boy. I didn't ride a sport bike. I don't even think they had them back here in the 80s. That's when I started riding. I have ridden sport bikes, and I tell you what, leaning forwards over the tank ain't something that I prefer. And they say that these cruisers aren't that fast, but I'm telling you what, these bikes will go 160 miles an hour if you want them to. But, you know, we ain't trying to break the law and have to pay all them tickets and fines for riding fast. If you go over the speed limit, you're taking your chances. Plus, the faster you go, the quicker you're going to smash your head into something if something pulls out in front of you. I've actually flown over my handlebars a few times. You know, stuff happens, and you're taking your own life in your own hands when you ride. You got to take precautions. And safety is in your own. When you're a new guy, you know, first thing you thinking, yeah, I'm going to go fast and get on down the road. Of course, you know, you think you can beat everybody out there. You know, that's what young dudes do. After you ride a while, if you survive, then you learn that riding fast is for the racetrack. Or if you can find some roads where there ain't cars coming out of intersections, because I'm telling you, most wrecks happen in intersections like this right here, four-way stops. I love my cruiser. You probably, all you gotta do is look in some of my videos and you can see them bikes go fast. We do break the law a little bit playing around, but we're not gonna be riding no wheelies or nothing like that with that much weight on a cruiser. Cruisers aren't really meant to lift up off the ground because they're so heavy. And from what I hear right now is a Harley getting ready to come up out of there. Now, this dude right here is a crazy rider. He believe me, he takes that 1500 cc's Harley Davidson and he will ride it fast all in through them cars and lane split and all that stuff. That's what he likes to do. He's a crazy one. I can't believe he's still alive the way he rides. We was riding with him the other day in the video I called the threesome. He got a pretty cool bike. There's a few things wrong with his bike. Well, something that I've seen other riders do is they take their turn signals off their bikes. I'm telling you right now, that wouldn't work very good around here. I mean, it's hard enough to keep yourself from being ran over the way it is, but if you ain't indicating that you're turning, there's a very good chance you're going to get ran over here in this state. This is Indiana. I don't know about other states, but there's no way in hell I'm going to ride a motorcycle without no turn signals on it. And a tail light too. I've seen some of these bikers not even have a tail light on them. I don't know how they don't get stopped or fined for that. this is a state where you don't have to wear a helmet either, and I'm cool with that. You know, to each his own. It's like wearing a seatbelt. You know, pick and choose what you want to do. But I like a full face helmet, especially when it gets cold out, and it gets cold here in Indiana, and you can put that full face on there and protect your face from the freezing cold. When you're riding in the wind really fast on the freeway, I tell you right now, if you wear a skull cap, you're just put a parachute on top of your head. That wind's going to be blowing that thing all over on top of your head. But you know, you turn aerodynamic when you wear the full face. The wind go right past that helmet. I like tight-fitting jackets too. I don't like coats that kind of flip around especially when you're driving fast. First time that I ever raced a car was a Porsche, and I was out on the freeway. I didn't think there was no way that my 754 Honda, it was a 1973 version, I was flying down the road and this Porsche come riding up next to me, kind of revving his engine up, kind of going back and forth, just trying to root me into racing. I was like, all right. So I leaned down and kicked it into gear, and I tell you what, I took off. I left that Porsche in the dust. He was trying to keep up with me, and I looked back too, see if he was there, and he was trying to keep up with me. Finally, I went to an off ramp, and here he come flying. I was like, yeah, he tried to catch me. But I'm telling you right now, the lightness of these motorcycles really kick you into gear fast, and you'll leave most cars in the dust. There's one thing that I don't like about these big cruisers, is how loud they are. I mean, I know a lot of them say loud pipes save lives, but I'll tell you what, it makes you go deaf after you ride so far. This other yellow one is a 700, so it's a little bit quieter. It's going to have a little bit smoother, easier sound to it, instead of that big loud ass 1300 I got there. I actually prefer a quieter engine myself. It's the first bike that I ever had that was that loud, and after I got off, I felt like my ears went numb. I have a 250 that I ride around every once in a while. That one's kind of fun because it's quiet. It uses very little gas, so I can ride a lot longer than these bigger bikes. I don't really know how much gas a sport bike uses, but that little 250 of mine, it really uses very little gas, and that's pretty cool to not have to throw gas in there every time you turn around. I heard a guy say the other day that cruisers are meant for old dudes and sport bikes are meant for young guys, and that's just some bullshit. You know, you get that in your head, then you won't be too welcome around me, because I can ride both. There ain't a bike in the world that I can't ride. One of my bikes at home, my 400 cc's, is a pretty fast little sport bike. And one of the dudes that I am subscribed to on YouTube, he drives a sport bike, and he's way older than I am. That dude's probably like 70 years old. It was pretty cool to find an old dude that does drive a sport bike around. He makes a few videos of doing maintenance on his little sport bike. He also shows a few other videos on other things, new technology, electronic stuff, you know, science. The guy's got a pretty good account. I can't really remember his name right now, but whenever his videos pop up, I watch them. Then there's another old dude that I watch. He says, "Hey fuckers and fuckettes." You know, that he says that at the beginning of all his videos. He's pretty funny, and I'd say pretty much every one of his videos is doing work and maintenance on his bikes. But he'll tell you, and when he works on bikes, about every bike that comes in there he can work on. I mean, whether they're sport bikes or cruisers, guy's got some skills. I'm glad I found him. He showed us a few things about working on things, really old bikes too, not just the newer ones.